no matter which model you have, you're going to want to empty your main tank first. The easiest way to do that is to connect your shower sprayer here at the back. I've removed the actual sprayer nozzle from the hose just to make things go a little bit faster. Easiest thing to do is tuck that over your rear hinge here. Get it out of the way. And then I'm gonna go, or my pump's already on. I'm gonna open up hot and cold, get maximum flow out of that pump, and just wait for it to go empty. All right, when your tank is empty, you're gonna notice your hose spits water, and there's a characteristic sound that you're gonna hear from your pump as it continuously tries to prime itself, even though there's no water in the tank. Letting it stay in this state where it's continuously trying to prime itself is okay. You just don't want to do it for too long. And by too long, I'm talking like 10 minutes. But you can see now that there's pretty much no water up front here. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off so that my pump's still working, but there's no water to be primed. And then I'm going to go shut off my pump, either here or up front. All right, depending on your model, you're gonna have maybe an auxiliary tank and a gray water tank. If yours is one of the quick disconnect gray water tanks that you empty outside of the van, go ahead and just disconnect it, pour it out, you're good for the winter. For these auxiliary tanks here, you're gonna go down here, find this drain valve, point it towards the ground, and let the auxiliary tank drain. If you have a gray water tank, and an electric dump valve, all you have to do is activate that dump valve and wait till your gray water tank is empty. Once it's empty, go ahead and close this gray water valve. Leaving the valve activated for an extended period of time can have the side effect of heating up the valve itself, which isn't going to burn out the pump, but we don't really want to do that too much. And so once it's empty, we'll just close that again. All right. So we're all set up with our winterization diversion valve pointed to the right position. This is always going to be pointed towards the hose that you're putting in your RV antifreeze. Go ahead and get your RV antifreeze hose stuck down in the bottom of your gallon. And I have opened up one of the valves slightly, so you could either open it up in the rear sprayer if that's all you have, or if you have a sink, go ahead and open up the sink a little bit to allow airflow. As the pump is trying to prime itself, you're going to need to allow air to be pushed through the system. Normally this is accomplished through airflow valves that are in the main tank, but because we've isolated the tanks, we need to allow air to escape. So just crack any valve just a little bit, and I'm all set up. I'm going to turn my pump on either here in the water cabinet or up here on my main control panel. All right, so I have this valve open a little bit, turn on the pump. The pump is still on. It's now primed the system with RV antifreeze. I'm gonna secure my line, make sure it's down here in the bottom of my gallon. And I'm gonna make sure that I've got pink RV antifreeze coming out of both my hot and cold water valves. So white, clear water. That's my RV antifreeze. I'm gonna shut that valve off. I'm gonna check my cold. That's the one I use to prime the system, so that's full of RV antifreeze too. Right now, the shower sprayer, both the hot and cold water valves are filled with RV antifreeze in addition to the pump. Next, I'm gonna go up front to my faucet and make sure that I've got RV antifreeze coming through that entire circuit as well. If you do have a water filter in the system, there's one more step. So if you don't have a water filter in your system, go ahead and just winterize the hot and cold on your faucet. And if you do, I'm going to show you how to deal with that right now. All right, so in order to prep my filter for winterization, I'm going to first depressurize the system. You can actually do this step at any point in the winterization, even before you drain your tank. The main objective here is to remove the taste filter from your water filter so that you're not infusing the charcoal filter with RV antifreeze, which is basically going to make it useless. So when I'm doing that, I'm going to depressurize my system here at my sink. That prevents me, when I go to remove the collar on this filter, from having pressurized water leak out of the actual filter. So I'm depressurized. I'm going to find my special cartridge removal tool. If you lost yours by any chance, you could probably use any sort of Allen wrench that fits in any of these holes. So I'm going to position it here. I'm going to grab it, crack that collar loose. When you're removing this on the van, you should anticipate two things. One, there could be water coming out of your lines down, and this bottom canister is also going to be full of water. So be careful with this canister, try not to spill it everywhere, and maybe have some towels ready underneath, because that extra water there's not going to be a lot of it, but there's definitely going to be some water coming out of these lines. Once I remove my collar, you'll be able to see inside your filter. Here's your taste filter, your charcoal filter. I'm just going to remove it so that it doesn't get contaminated with RV antifreeze. I'm going to get my top seated properly. You can see this translucent sealing ring. You want to make sure that that's seated nice and secure on the main canister. Go ahead and slip your collar back on there. Tighten your collar by hand and then give it a nice little snug cinch using your tool or Allen key if you lost this thing. Of course, you can see here, you'll have to be doing all of this while the filter is in the van. The reason why I'm showing you this way is because there's not a lot of room back here, as I'm sure you'll discover. All right, so my charcoal taste filter has been removed from the filter. I definitely got a little bit of spillage coming out of that. It's really full, that canister, so make sure you have a bunch of towels down there. It's not a lot, but a couple towels will take care of that. At this point, I'm ready to, the pump's primed. I'm going to turn it back on. And I'm now ready to push RV antifreeze through my faucet. Clear, clear, clear. RV antifreeze cold. Clear, clear. It's now purging the aqua hot, RV antifreeze hot. So at this point, because I've asked for hot water at the faucet and at the back, the aqua hot is entirely winterized. The circuit to the sink is winterized. The filter, the water filter, is winterized in addition to the rear sprayer, and we're done. All right, so we finished winterizing Pebbles. Here's our current show van. You can see that we have just a fuzzy bit of RV antifreeze left. So yeah, 1 gallon's gonna do you just fine, especially if you have, or even if you have our water filter and all the complexities involved with this particular system. A note, you can safely now leave your van here to freeze. All of the fittings of concern are now filled with RV antifreeze. There is one last step that you can do that helps protect your gray water dump valve if you do have a gray water dump valve, and I'm going to show you that here right now. So to protect my gray water dump valve, I want a little bit of that RV antifreeze also in the valve. So because I have a little bit of RV antifreeze left in my gallon, I'm going to use the faucet here and put it all in my gray water tank until I've sucked that gallon dry. So right now I can hear the pump cycling. It's trying to prime. Still trying to prime. I'm going to turn that pump off. And now I've got RV antifreeze just a little bit here in the bottom of my gray water tank. In order to get my gray water dump valve winterized, I'm just going to open this up. I can list it open. Let's do it open. A little bit comes out. I'm going to shut it right away. So now my gray water tank and that gray water dump valve also have RV antifreeze in them, and I'm ready for sub-zero temperatures.